Hello everybody, December48 here and welcome back to another video. Today, it is October, which means it is the start of the MLB playoffs. And as a big MLB fan, specifically a Red Sox fan, but this year we're going in the playoffs with no Red Sox. So, let's see what's going on in the playoffs this year, and I am giving you my MLB playoff predictions. Now we start with the wild card. Obviously, we have the Baltimore Orioles as the number 1 seed, so they're moving on to the ALDS. We have Rays versus Rangers in the first round, which is an incredible series. The Rays and Rangers were both respectively in first place of their own division for a very long time, so the fact that they're both wild card teams is insane. And it's a tough choice. I mean, the Rays have more wins, but the Rangers have been very dominant throughout the year and a very good team. Both are good, and I think the Rays squeak this one out. I think it's going to go down to the third game because that Rangers team is no joke. Twins versus Blue Jays. Twins is the higher seed, technically. They are the division winner for the AL Central, but the Blue Jays have more wins, and I think the Blue Jays will outclass the Twins. The Blue Jays had to do a lot more work to get to 89 wins than the Twins did because they're in a much tougher division, and the Astros are the other bye as the 2 seed. In the National League, we have the Braves at 104 wins, which is the most wins in Major League Baseball this year, which that coming from the Braves is kind of nuts. I mean, you have the Dodgers also ramping up with a good amount of wins, but the fact that the Braves are putting out 104 is kind of ridiculous. We've got Phillies versus Marlins. I just don't see a way that the Phillies lose this. They came in last year as the 6th seed and made it all the way to the finals. So the fact that they're going up against at the Marlins as a favorite, I don't see a way that they really lose. Brewers versus Diamondbacks. I would love the Diamondbacks to win this series, but I don't see it happening. I'll be rooting for the Diamondbacks, don't get me wrong, but the Brewers, they've got 8 more wins. I think they're just going to outclass the Diamondbacks. Unfortunately, we go back up to the top. Orioles versus Rays, and this is a battle of the American League East. These are the 2 best teams in the American League, and they both come from the same division. It's a rivalry game, realistically, nowadays. Red Sox, Yankees, who cares? Sit down, both of you. It's Rays, Orioles. And I don't know. This is tough. The Orioles squeaked by with 2 more wins than the Rays. I don't know how their division series went. I did not pay attention to that, if I'm honest. But I think the Rays have a deeper pitching staff. And in the playoffs, that's what really, really matters. You need the pitching to be able to finish out a series. So we move on to the Blue Jays and the Astros. I'm going to be rooting for the Blue Jays. I think the Astros are going to get this with home field advantage. They've got a really good team. I really like their coach. Dusty Baker is just an incredible Major League coach. I think with the home field advantage, they'll be able to get that one. In the National League, we have Braves versus Phillies. I don't have a lot of faith in the Braves in the playoffs, whereas I have a lot of faith in Phillies in the playoffs. Now, on a similar note, I don't have much faith in the Dodgers in the playoffs. They don't seem to be able to complete playoff series. They're not a good playoff team. They do really well in the regular season, and I think this is a good year for the Brewers to be able to move on. Now, we're into the CS series, the championship series, AL and NLCS respectively. We have Rays versus Astros. I think this is the year the Rays have been working towards. They have a really good team, and frankly, I think they're able to beat out the Astros this year. Why is this not? There we go. Okay, let's move that so you can actually see the final. That's helpful. We have Phillies Brewers. And now this is where it's like, this is where the Phillies should lose, right? But the Brewers aren't much better than the Phillies. I think the Phillies have the playoff experience. And I think the Phillies get back to the World Series 2 years in a row, and we have 2 4s in the World Series. Now, I don't think this is the year the Phillies win. I think this is the Rays' year. I think the Rays get the World Series over the Phillies. I mean, I'm going to be rooting. Who am I rooting for here? I'm rooting for like Phillies, or I'm rooting for Blue Jays maybe. Maybe. Orioles would be cool, and Diamondbacks would be cool. But I think this is the Rays' year. They've got a good team, and I think they've got a good path. I think really it's the Orioles. Everyone knows the team to beat is the Astros in the American League historically within the last 5 years or so. Like, that's the team you're aiming to beat, you're building around. If the Rays can get by the Orioles in the ALDS, I think they have a really good chance at winning the World Series. That's my prediction for the Major League Baseball playoffs and the World Series winner. Let me know where you agree and disagree in the comments down below. Thank you everybody so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.